So genuinely, I suck at being a YouTuber. I went on a vacation and I didn't record anything, and then I get back and now I'm realizing I didn't record anything. So yes, please leave some feedback on what you think you like and what type of videos I should make. So I don't have any idea what I want to do with this YouTube channel. It's kind of just my life, I'm vlogging what I do. So again, my name is Manny. I'm a neurosurgical sales rep. I just graduated college. I am 22, but I broke in at 21, which is super rare. And I know that for all the people watching this, I know how rare this is. Yeah, so it's been a shock. So I guess I can talk a little bit about how my first year in medical devices and neurosurgical devices has been. It's been stressful. I definitely been stressed. I've learned a lot. And in this industry, it's just been drinking out of the water hose and trying not to drown. So the hose, as you guys already know, you probably heard this from a million other people talking about medical devices, and if not, then it is a lot. A lot of it comes at you and it doesn't stop. So you just have to adapt, overcome, figure out what you're doing, and have a better understanding on why you're doing what you're doing. At the same time, you're learning, and then at the same time, you're trying to make sure that you are actually being efficient in the way that you are presenting and supporting different products. So going back to it again, you're drinking from the water hose without drowning. Some of the tips that I have from new people breaking into medical devices, right? So I'm gonna tell you what I did the first year, because that's all I know, but I think this is good to know. So the first year, focus on your product. Really don't think too much about selling. Think about more of just being valuable to your actual clinicians and staff from the hospitals. So focus on your product. Learn what every product is, and you might have a bigger bag. That means more products. So you might have more products that you carry with your company. So I'm a distributor, so I work with a distributor, so I don't work directly with a company, but I work with multiple companies, and that just makes it a little bit harder. But I can make another video about distributorships and enterprise and more of the corporate world. But I do want you to focus on your product. So understand what you're selling, why you're selling it, and what makes your product better. It might not even just be better, it could even just be why they choose it. Why, one of the first things you can do is, if you have accounts that are already using your product, literally just go up to them and ask them, hey, why do you use this? If you want to know their perspective, right? Because they'll give you your sales training, they'll give you your training, they'll give you more information online. But go up to your staff and just even ask them, hey, what do you guys like about this? Why are you guys using this? And sometimes they're just oh, well, it was the one that got offered. So now okay, well, they're open-minded to whatever gets offered. So you also have to see that defense and offense, right? It's I think that's why a lot of people who are medical devices are sports people, because it's so easy to just put together. So defense, you're looking at it okay, so I have to be aware that this customer, they look at things that come in and they're open-minded. So other reps that are coming in, they might just bring up something, and if they do bring up something, they might be more willing to try it than another hospital that says, oh, well, we like this because this is the most efficient, blah, 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 right? So playing that defense is making sure you're always there, making sure that those reps that are coming in, the new reps that are coming in trying to sell whatever, you got to let them know, hey, no, let your clinicians know and remind them why they use you and why they're using you guys. So that's one of the things that I would tell you. Going into your product, not just why it's good to know your product. And then for offense, of course, you can always look for new businesses that are happening, or you can just see, okay, how can I pitch this to this doctor if he likes product that is effective? There's some doctors that are I don't give an F what this is. I don't care who sells it, as long as it works. That's all I care about. So you just got to make sure it works, right? There's ways of doing that as well. So the second thing was, when you're starting off, you do get a lot like stressed. Like there's some days that this is not as in, this is my thinking putty. But there's a lot of times that you'll feel stressed. I felt stressed because some days it's very calm and you're not really doing much. So it's I like to call it uncomfortably like calm. You're not doing anything, and those are the times that you have to study your product the most. So whenever your clinicians or hospitals aren't calling on you, or you don't have any surgery scheduled for whatever reason, those are the times that you organize yourself, organize your calendars, organize whatever you have. So when you do need to do something, you know that these stuff were already organized, right? That's just the way that I do it. Is if I do need like a product or anything like that, I'm not stressing too much. I know where everything's at because I'm organized. So if there's like, hey, do you have this product? It's like, yes, I do. You know why? Because I checked, I remembered, so those are ways that will get you better prepared and reduce that stress that you might have going into it. And the days that you're running and you're busy, you're pretty organized, kind of already know where all your stuff is and what you have, what you don't have, what you need to get. And that's another thing. And then third is just be patient with yourself. You might not be like, a lot of people go to training. So I went to training, and it was like most companies, I'm really thankful that this company that I was working with, they allowed distributors to go in and get some training, because it was super helpful. I got to speak with other reps. I got those contacts now that I like text and I asked them, hey, like, I remember you mentioned this, can you help me out with this? So reaching out to the people that you know, one of the biggest things that my manager told me. So it's weird, I feel like I have two managers, distributor manager and then the company manager. So one of the things that the company manager told me was like, the biggest reason like right now that you can use first year is that you have the resources to call other people that might know the answer. That's one thing you can do, is if you don't know the answer, go into hospitals knowing that you can probably find someone that can help you get that hospital the answer, and they will love you for it. So some of them might at the beginning they might hate you depending on like how the relationship was with the past rep, but you're not like mean or anything like that. They'll help out. So yeah, and then finally, I think the third thing that I have, just to keep this video short, under 10 minutes, I really want you guys to let me know if this is helpful or what you guys want me to focus more on. I'm just gonna put out a bunch of stuff and you guys let me know what you like. But the third thing that I would do in the first year, differently or maybe the same, is probably try to get hands-on experience as much as you can going into surgeries. It's a little difficult for me to do that just because I'm by myself up here. I have a full team that's down in Texas, but I'm the only one in New Mexico. So this last year has been extremely difficult to get into cases, but it wasn't impossible. So finding, scrub techs, finding coordinators, managers that like you, and using that resource by asking them and telling them, hey, like, I'm new, I want to get into surgeries to be more of an asset for you guys. I want to understand why you guys are using what we're using. Can I get into some cases? And sometimes, depending on the surgeon, some surgeons will be like, no, you can't get in. And some of them are like, well, you can come in today. So finding out how to get into cases is good. And if you don't ask, you won't get anything. So always ask. Even if they tell you no, it's fine. Or even if you keep asking, unless they tell you, hey, stop asking, then you can stop asking, or you can keep pushing depending on how you are as a rep. Getting into cases, a lot of times what helps is knowing a scrub tech, or also asking your managers, hey, is there anyone in here that can get me into like surgery? Do you recommend any surgeons that you can like talk to me that like already know me? Like a lot of them are like, they'll give you like that alley-oop, right? So they'll just be like, hey, like this is so-and-so, he's gonna be one of your reps, like, can he come into one of your surgeries? Someone will be like, oh yeah, sure, or something like, oh yeah, I'll let you know next time. But always try to get something today or tomorrow. It's always good to do that. instead of like, oh, next week or anything like that. But I think that's more of like something that I had to learn. So I sold advertisements, right? I'm gonna be like honest with you. I sold advertisements, and it was nothing of like person to person where like I have to, like the risks weren't as high. I mean, advertisements isn't that risky. You either get the advertisement or you don't. But this is more of like you're dealing with patients, so it's more of, and definitely more of a risk and more of a different type of sales. So medical devices in general, I think it's just different type of sales. But getting those clinicians and using those resources to get into surgeries will make you learn a lot more than anything will learn, reading a book or seeing some computers. It's just actually being there. I can give you one more tips on like what to do when you're actually inside of the OR, or how to be more valuable as a rep inside an operating room that I've seen myself do. So if you're a medical device rep and you have some tips or other things that you think I missed out on, or things that you would add, please put them down in the comments. I don't see a lot of people who do medical devices that are young, so I think this might be helpful to younger associate reps. I was an associate for around 6 months, and I got promoted to sales rep, so now I'm here by myself doing a really hard job, but I love it, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity that I have. So like this, subscribe, share it, and hopefully you see this in a week. Bye.